Going to talk with Bill King here in a second on all things college football and a few other topics. But before we get to Bill, do want to let you know that this segment is brought to you by Williams Tractor. As they have moved after nearly 50 years, Williams Tractor in Fayetteville is moving to their new location and changing their name to WT Equipment and relocating to Springdale. WT Equipment will be located on the east side of Interstate 49 between the Don Tyson and Johnson exit. Please stop by and check them out. More exciting news, of course, to come. William Tractor in Fayetteville, now WT Equipment in Springdale. Bringing on Bill King from Nashville, the college football expert of the, not just the state of Arkansas, but I'd say one of the college football experts of the country. And Bill, I hope you're doing well. First and foremost, since you are in Nashville, thoughts on the controversial new Vanderbilt logo?
It's like any other press release Vanderbilt has ever attempted. It becomes a laughing stock. It's so bad, guys, that if they actually issued a good press release, it wouldn't get any credit. That's the reputation. It's so soiled that it can't be fixed. That's the best way to sum up this clown show.
And the thing that always shocks me about Vanderbilt is they can't ever seem to really get it right. And I mean, you think that this would be a time where they'd be celebrating the fact that they had a team in the quarterfinals of the NIT. I know it's not the NCAA tournament, but they're on national television. You know, last night they ultimately lost in the last few seconds of the game, had the shot blocked there at the end to lose. But it feels like any type of momentum that they could have possibly had with being on national television was just taken over on social media yesterday with the unveiling of the logo. Why, regardless of who's in charge at Vanderbilt, can they never get it right?
Because they don't care. And they released, about a week or two ago, somebody from The Hustler, and The Hustler is the Vanderbilt student newspaper. Every school's got one. Mm-hmm. And they asked them about the mask mandates early in basketball, where everybody else was playing with their gym and their people, and Vanderbilt wasn't allowed to. Vanderbilt decided we can't do this. And their reply was so Vanderbilt. And I'll just give you the Cliff Notes paraphrasing. We're Vanderbilt. Our priorities are different. We don't treat our campus like everybody else in the league we're in. Basically saying, we're never going to act like everybody else. We're better than you, and we don't care what you think.
Yeah, that sounded very hoity-toity, nose up in the air type of remark, and that's what you get out of Vanderbilt all the time, and that's ultimately while outside of academically, they are the laughingstock of not just the SEC, but one of the laughingstocks of all of college athletics. But Bill, we are in the NCAA tournament. How much have you enjoyed the tournament, and how big of a conversation has it been about regular season Rick?
Oh, a lot of people have piled on, and probably rightfully so. What hurts as a league is when Kentucky's not advancing. And I know a lot of people don't like Kentucky, which I understand. But when you lose that brand, that's like Alabama football not representing the SEC deep into some season or something. You're not right when they're not right. But hey, Arkansas, watch the NCAA tournament the way that Arkansas-Tennessee game, and that's why you never take a tournament, a conference tournament, and predict the NCAA tournament with it, because they don't match up. Sometimes they do, but many times they don't. And if you based it on the Arkansas-Tennessee game, you would never have Arkansas advancing further. So it's another lesson that people should have learned about 30 years ago. I remember one year Kentucky, early Rick Pitino, before they got to the championship in 96, but early Rick Pitino, they won the SEC basketball tournament pretty easy. I believe they beat Billy Donovan and Florida, and end up in the NCAA tournament losing the second round to Marquette. Rick Pitino.
Yeah.
Those things happen, and that same Florida team went to the Final Four. It's either 93 or 94, one of those years.
Bill, switching to college football, because there are some things going on in the SEC and around the world of college football. We'll start from latest to newest, and I don't know if anybody's that surprised by it, but Emry Jones officially does decide to leave Gainesville, made his long emotional release on the Twitter and that nobody reads, just kind of scrolls down to the bottom where it says thank you, but I'm decided to transfer out of Gainesville, basically, peace out. Where do you think he finds a landing spot?
Well, first of all, if you stick around as long as he has, and you got to play a bunch and start, and then about 2 practices in with a new guy, you're out, then the new guy wasn't repping you. Apparently, the body language at practice and the quarterback pecking order line was not conducive to his happiness. That's pretty obvious. I'm not sure. He's an attractive player. He can pass it. He can run it. He's athletic. He's got SEC experience. He's played in really big games, Alabama games. I'm not sure who the leading candidate for him, but he's going to have a good list of suitors, I would think.
Is there anybody in the SEC that you think will be going after him?
Trying to think if I don't think so. LSU's got Keaton Daniels. That happened recently. Oh, not Ole Miss. I'm not Mississippi State, but maybe. I think that Kentucky's got their starter from Penn State a year ago. I don't see it. Tennessee has a super quarterback returning, plus an $8 million kid out of California committed. They probably don't want him. So,
yeah. Speaking of that, junior, I think 4th quarterback in the class of his class, number 24 overall player, Nico. You're gonna have to help me with the last name. Do you know?
I think it's Iamaleava.
Okay, Iamaleava. What for people that are just now really kind of learning his name, because like you said, is from California. What kind of style of player is he? And is he a guy that could be considered a freshman starter the day that he walks on campus in 2 years?
Yes.
Wow.
He's 6'5" plus, maybe 6'6", 200 pounds. He's lean. He's athletic, very athletic. Long strider, and has a big arm. He's got all that stuff. And he fits perfectly in that tempo and that style offense. And just looking at their depth chart, and you never know who might develop after Hendon Hooker. I mean, somebody could, but there's a decent to pretty good chance he could be starting. You never want to slot somebody game 1, rep 1. You just don't know that. But could he be a starter his freshman year? And the answer is yes. Wow. He's a consensus 5-star. They've got Arch Manning 1, Malachi Nelson, who's committed to Southern Cal 2, Dante Moore in Detroit 3, and then this kid. And they're all listed as 5 stars. It's a heavy quarterback at the top of the national group. It's stacked heavy at the top.
And speaking of Arch, any new development on that you've heard? Or, because I feel like, especially this offseason, it's going to be something that is going to be talked about so much, and we're just constantly going to be on Arch Manning watch. And is there any new news from the front of Arch?
Couple of thoughts here, not exactly your question, but
go ahead. Every
time there's an announcement about somebody's NIL, even if it's not true, $8 million or whatever, that just takes his marketability and moves it up. So every time there's an announcement that doesn't involve him with a quarterback and a number, the Mannings just look at the cash register one more time, and this will continue to happen. I think it's 3 teams today. Things can change. Texas, Alabama, Georgia. Now, here's my thing. If indeed he wants to commit before he starts playing his senior year to get that off the table, right, which is not a bad idea. I don't know that you commit to Texas early. Now, he might, but they have a propensity to start a season with some hopes, and then it just turn into a landslide of disappointment, right? You don't get that out of Alabama and Georgia. Alabama and Georgia is not going to do that to you after you commit, present a bad-looking team, make you want to rethink. Now, I'm not saying Texas won't get him. They might. I just don't know if that's where you commit early. I would question that, would be my point.
And when it comes to Georgia, does their track record of having 5 stars at quarterback and them in that quarterback room and then, transferring out or kind of sitting behind a walk-on, does that play into the factor of anything? Or is it, Georgia's one of the best programs in the country. I can win a national championship there. Be damned with what's happened in the past?
I think all that's got to be weighed. I think so. I don't know if it'll be the reason you don't go there. If you just want to do the sure thing with the brand, you go to Alabama. Now, they have One more year with Bryce Young, it doesn't affect him. Then they got Ty Simpson, big-time recruit out of Jackson, Tennessee, who is as good as advertised. And then you'd have Arch Manning coming in. And I don't know if Arch Manning, you got Quinn Ewers at Texas. You may have to sit a year behind him. You've got Johnny 4 and 5 stars over there waiting behind Stetson Bennett at Georgia. You may have to sit a year there, too. But if you just want the surest thing brand-wise, then you select Alabama and you don't worry about it.
Yeah, that is obviously the easy choice. We're talking with Bill King. You can follow him on Twitter at BillIsKing. Bill, one last thing before we go. Ex-SMU running back Ulysses Bentley is transferring to Ole Miss. Now he's joining another transfer from the state of Texas in Zach Evans, who transferred from TCU earlier this year. Which one of those two guys do you kind of see? You know, I know we haven't even started spring practice, right. But which one do you think kind of starts off the year as the one guy and how that running back room looks?
Probably Zach Evans. I mean, it really doesn't matter at running back because you're going to have to rep others. Even if you've got a featured number one guy, you've got to rep others. You can run down a running back room, that's a poor sentence there, really fast with beating people up. Mm-hmm. And I don't think it really matters, but if you're saying you go ahead and pick the pecking order, I think you go Zach Evans 1, at least for now.
Oh, Bill, we'll leave it there. I appreciate you joining us. Enjoy the Sweet 16 and Elite 8 this weekend, and we'll talk to you next week.
It's that time of year as college basketball takes center stage with the tournament finally upon us. If you're looking to wager this year, BetOnline is the #1 spot for all your updated odds and info, along with great contests, including the bracket contest, where you can have a chance to take home the top prize. Head over to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use our promo code BELIEVE to get started. That's BLEAV. BetOnline is your continued source for all your sports wagering needs, including live betting and your favorite Vegas casino games. BetOnline, where the game starts.